Hey guys, welcome back to BigK Crypto. So today is my weekly update of Ethereum Gold, the smart contract that is literally storming over the YouTube space when it comes to smart contracts. I'm going to show you what my results have been from the day that I first invested to today, and also what my future plans are with this platform. So obviously, as usual, pause the disclaimer if you haven't seen these videos before. And even if you have, make sure you understand that this crypto space is risky. I'm not your financial advisor, and anything you do in the space is of your own responsibility. So Ethereum Gold, right? Well, what can I say about it? I mean, it's been exploding. Okay. So before we even go into my results and stuff, let's just kind of take a look here. This is the performance of the smart contract from its inception, right? Which was 10th of April 2018, I believe. And as you can see, you know, we've had, well, three main waves. I mean, I think we had this little one right at the beginning, but we had this first one, which it could be from the offset of the bull run. But then we have the Oracle wave in effect. And I was in this last year. I was actually in the smart contract last year as well. And I did very well for myself through it. And, you know, as we can see, it peaked to a certain point, went down, went up again, as all charts do, as we look at them in its simplicity. But, you know, of course, it declined over time. And now we're on this current pump, right, which has literally exploded through its all-time highs. Now, the thing to notice with this chart, and, you know, I'm not a massive chart guy either. I don't like to look at charts, and I certainly don't like to do drawings and all that kind of nonsense. But if we take this first massive pump that we had here to the all-time high, which was in the end of December 2018, as we came down from that pump, we didn't go lower than our previous lows, all right? And then the same thing for this pump. When we had this last Oracle wave last year, we didn't go lower than our previous lows. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I've had quite a few comments already on my videos, and I've seen it just sort of circulating around. Is it too late? Have I missed the boat? No, you haven't. Okay, and this is proof of it. This is not going to go to new lows. And there's so much evidence around that, okay, which I've spoken about in many videos, and I'm going to touch on as well today. So, you know, this is already, we can see where we are right now. It's a really exciting time right now in the smart contract space for these guys. I can only imagine how the guys are feeling, especially the developer, how he's feeling through the start of this, and seeing where we are right now. It's exploding. It's doing so well. And the reason why I want to show you this is just to kind of show you what was being like the previous history with these pumps, okay? And it's very important to see where we're at right now, because as we can already see, you know, a lot of these new dApps and smart contracts are going to start hitting the space. You might start seeing YouTubers comment on the newest dApp out there, or the newest smart contract that has, you know, even better referrals or even better dividend distribution fees and whatnot. But how long have they been around? Right, they're brand new. There's brand spanking. Yeah, this has been around from 2018, and the community is super strong. That's what you need for a platform, or excuse me, that's what you need for a smart contract. And you know what, I'm going to call it a movement, all right? A movement like this to really succeed. It's the people that are behind it. And I don't just mean the developers, I don't just mean the teams. I mean the people that are actually invested into it themselves, and they stay with it, they stick true. Okay, if you look at the previous example that we all know about, you know, proof of weak hands, if you don't know about it, Google it, or I might even do another future video on that and why that worked in comparison to this, and how this is following that same train. Is because of that community that was behind it. All right. So, you know, so that's Ethereum Gold, or Gandhiji, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. Whatever the face that you're looking at is. Okay. Whether it's this or this, you know, at the end of the day, it's this. Okay. This is this is exactly what you're dealing with. It doesn't matter how it looks from the front end. It's how it works from the back. Take that as you will. So I just want to kind of go through, first of all, my results. I had someone on my channel commented on one of the Ethereum Gold videos that I'd done, asking what is the daily average percentage, you know, one can make with this. But it doesn't work like that. The way it works, guys, is whenever somebody joins on this platform, so let's say you were to take my link, which by the way, guys, is down below, or you just jump onto ethereumgold.io on your own. I don't care, you know, it's not about the referrals of this. Okay, the referrals are very minimal. But if you were to jump in and you had Ethereum already in your MetaMask wallet, okay, as you can see here, then what you would do is you would choose the amount of Ethereum's worth of tokens you would want to purchase. So let's say you wanted to go in with 5 ETH, you would click 5 here, and you would click buy gold tokens and follow all those steps. If you want more detailed processes on how those steps actually work, I'll put a link to that video in the description below, as well as the card in the corner of your screen. That's probably just popped up right now. But that's essentially it. Now, when you do that, you lose 20% of what you've just invested in, because that's the way this works. Okay, it's a 10% in, a 10% out dividend distribution contract. So, you know, if you go in with 1 ETH, you're going to have 0.8 ETH. Okay, that would be stipulated up here, and the amount of tokens you own would be up here. And the reason for that is this is how this whole smart contract works, and this is how it will benefit you. So whenever other people join in after you're already a token holder and you're part of Ethereum Gold, when people buy their tokens, you'll be getting a dividend distributed to you in proportion to the amount of tokens you own. Okay, and that's going to be quite important to the later part of this video. So depending on how many tokens you own, you're going to get a proportion of it. And equally, whenever somebody sells, okay, whenever somebody sells their tokens, again, it's a 10% out. Now, don't worry, if you do decide to sell at whatever point, which I don't recommend you do, but if you were to ever sell at any point, don't think you're going to lose another 10%. You won't, because that's already taken out from the initial point that you bought your tokens. 20% has already been taken out. So accounting for your 10% in and your 10% out. So whatever you see here, guys, is exactly what you would get if you were to withdraw it. Okay, if you were to sell all your tokens. And by the way, again, a quick update, I'm not going to go into a step by step, but if you wanted to sell your tokens for whatever reason, you'd put that number in this box here, you'd click sell. So this amount would drop to 0 and turn into your total dividends. And at that point you can press withdraw and it will go to your MetaMask. So that's generally how it kind of works, guys. And that's how it benefits us. So to the person that did comment asking, you know, what is the average percentage? It doesn't work like that. It all depends on how many people are going in and out of this contract, how many people are buying tokens and people are selling tokens. It's not worth looking at this daily, because there might be some days where it grows substantially, your dividends, and then maybe some days when it doesn't grow as much. Okay, it's not one of those platforms that you look on a day-by-day basis. Weekly or even twice a week is fine. So that's that. Now for myself, obviously I'm looking at it every day because I'm documenting my journey. I'm doing videos on it and stuff. And, you know, on that note, I just want to show you a screenshot of the day that I first invested in this. Okay, now as you can see here, let me just bring this a bit more center. Let's bring it about there. I came in with I had 4.2. And the reason being was I did a bit of a mess up. I was supposed to put 5 in. I ended up putting 4. It's a long story. And then I ended up putting an additional 1 quite shortly after. Now, because of that, I lost, you know, some of that percentage, you know, for the second input amount that I put in. But I didn't care at the time because I knew how this was going to play out and I knew how solid and future-proof this smart contract actually is. So I had 5. So I had initially invested 5. If you do put 5 ETH in, guys, you won't be left with 4.2. You'll be left with more than that. But as I said, that was my fuck up. But, you know, automatically after that, and that was at the price of 118. Okay, and there was 1,229 Ethereum in the contract market cap. A few days later, and it's really annoying, I didn't take a screenshot of it. Stupidly, amateur YouTuber, I know. But I put in another 5 ETH and I took it up to 10. All right, so day 7, so today, which is a week after I first invested into this, these are my results. So in total, I've put in 10 ETH. Okay, yes, I put in another 5 ETH on top of it. And you know what, guys, maybe at some point later, I might even top up and put some more. Obviously, the sooner you get in, the better. The main strategy, if you are going to go into this, the best way for you to do it is put in as much as you're willing to do. Don't put in a little bit now and then a little bit in a few more days. It's better to put it all in one go, especially if this price keeps on increasing, right? So as a rough calculation off the top of my head, if I was to calculate these two together, because this is the amount of gold tokens I actually own, right, in Ethereum's worth, and this is the amount of dividends that I currently have in my basket, I have around 13.1 ETH. So in one day, I have made over 3 ETH. And what's ETH now? Or, you know, how much is 1 Ethereum? $220, $230. So that's $690, almost $700 in a week. Just think about that for a minute. Let that sink in. That's $100 a day for doing absolutely fuck all. All right, sweet fuck all. And it's been amazing just seeing that traction. Now, yeah, if I put that 10 ETH all in one go from the beginning, I would have been way up more. Okay, but this is a long-term thing, guys. This is exactly why I'm not panicking about it. And this is exactly why I love this smart contract, because it's such a long-term game. It doesn't matter. And I'm saying this for a very important reason. Again, I've mentioned this in a previous video. If you're looking at this and thinking, oh, but 1.88, it's quite high up, we might be reaching the peak of this pump. Well, maybe, and maybe you could wait and, it would work out for you. But what if it doesn't? This is now at 3,167 ETH in the contract. What did we start with when I got in? 1,229. Okay. So we're over double in a week. Now, what if this was to go up to 5, 7, 8, 10, 15,000, right? Or this price was to go up from 188 to 250 or to 350 or to $5? You'll be kicking the tires, right? We don't want to be no tire kickers. We want to make sure that we're in it. And because this is a long-term play, and this is all going to make sense in a second, it doesn't matter when you get in. Yes, it's always nice to go in early and to get in at a lower price. But if you've got a long-term game ahead, it doesn't matter what price you're going in, because you know what the goal is, you know what the objective is, and you know why you're in this in the first place, and that is for long-term gains. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, if you saw one of my previous videos, I think it was my last one or the one before, I was showing you Oracle's core number strategy, okay? And I'm still doing that, or I'm doing a variation of that, just as Oracle's doing. Because in the first week, it kind of makes sense, the first few days, just to kind of shave it off. And what I mean by that is basically, if 10 ETH was my core number that we're talking about, because that's how much I invested in the first place, then I want this number to always be 10. So what I could do, I could put the appropriate amount of gold tokens in here to shave this number off the top of this. So this goes back right down to 10 ETH. And what that will do is it will top this number up. And the principle behind that is to speed your ROI up quicker and faster. Now, especially for Bitcoin and Ethereum, or even with stocks, core number compounding works an absolute treat. And it does so here as well. But the one thing you've got to bear in mind as well is every time you sell a proportional amount of your gold tokens, it means you're going to be getting less dividend distribution, because of course you've got less tokens. Remember I said to you earlier, this number is what is going to dictate how much dividends you get in the first place. So as this number goes down, of course your dividends that you're going to be receiving goes down. So the first few days it was good to do it to kind of bump this up. Now from this point on though, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be touching it. I'm not going to be reinvesting either. As I said before, my goal is to get this number, which is 2.4, all the way up to 10 ETH, okay? Which you can say I'm a quarter of the way there now in 1 week. So this could be done in another 3 weeks. This could be done in a week. Who knows? If this traction just keeps blowing up, then by next week, this could be 10 ETH, or it could be next month. But again, guys, I really don't care, okay? The idea of what I'm going to be doing when the time comes. Now, of course, my strategy might change then depending on the circumstances. What I could be doing is taking away my 10 ETH from my dividends, pulling it out, which means I have taken back my investment that I made in the first place. So whatever is left in here, for example, if I leave 10.7 worth of ETH in this contract, then that's absolute free money, okay? That's 2,330 or whatever it is dollars as it stands in the contract, making me more dividends every time someone buys in and every time someone sells their tokens. That's what we mean by a free perpetual money machine. And this is going to be for my kid, this is going to be for my family, this is going to be for our comfort, this is something that can go down generations. This thing's going to be huge, guys. I really believe that. The community behind it is so strong. The idea behind the whole contract is bulletproof. As you saw, as through my update a few videos back, you saw that this particular let's just call it website in layman's terms, got attacked, right? There was a DDoS attack on it. The website went down. You know what? That was an awesome thing to actually happen in hindsight. Why? Because it showed within 24 hours or so, it was back. But not only was it back, there was backup sites. You had the GandDG.io site that you could go into. There was the other one, which was Gold Chip Fund or whatever it was called. There were other alternative faces, other alternative user interfaces that you could use to be able to still operate whatever you would want to be doing, whether it be reinvesting, whether it be withdrawing, buying more tokens, selling tokens, or whatever. But even still, at the end of this, and the beautiful thing about this, and I've said it before and I'll keep saying it again, is the fact that it is a verified, fully audited contract, okay? And what that means is that this is the brains of the operation, right? It's not these sites. These sites are just the pretty look, right? It's the makeup, it's the whatever, right, of the brains. But what you really need to know is that this is what operates everything behind the scenes. Okay, so whenever you do something here, for example, you buy tokens, it's actually happening in this, all right, in the code. It's actually happening in the contract. So if any of these did go down for whatever reason and you needed to talk to the contract, you needed to withdraw your Ethereum dividends, or you needed to buy more tokens, or you needed to sell tokens because, let's say, the website's gone down, it doesn't look like they're coming back, or God knows whatever the reason, you could go to contract here, you could click write contract, you'd connect to Web3, okay, and I'm not going to do it right now, but you could interact with the actual contract this way. Okay, so you could sell your amount of tokens, click write, and it would happen. You could buy your tokens, you can reinvest. All of the things that you can do here can be done on the brain. Okay, so that's what makes this so super secure. For me, it's one of the safest things, if not the safest thing in the crypto space at the moment. Okay, you know, it's currently blowing up. There's guys that I'm talking to who are part of the Gandiji team. They've been in this for a year, 2 years, and they've made 1 ETH into 75 ETH, or they've made 2 ETH into 200 and whatever ETH. They've been so fruitful. And you know why? Because they believed in this. It wasn't because they just said it and forget it, even though I do use that expression a lot. It's because they believed in the contract. They believe what it's doing. Now, I might do another video later on as to what is, you know, Gandiji and what is the whole ethos and principle of the contract. But right now, you guys don't need to worry about that. You just need to know that this thing is absolutely solid. The results speak for themselves from other people. And I implore you to, you know, go into this. I hate Telegram. I don't use that kind of stuff. But, you know, when I got into this, I wanted to know more about it. I wanted to know, I had someone to ask questions to, maybe the developer or the admin team. And the Telegram group is awesome to do that thing. Everyone there is very welcoming. It's like a big family there as well. And it's great. So that's, you know, the community is so strong. So there's a whole host of different things that makes this smart contract, in my eyes, the #1 thing to invest into, if you ask me, especially in the crypto space. Now, before I wrap up, I do want to mention, again, there will be other clones, all right? There will be the clone wars, the DApp wars. There will be other copycats coming in, just like we had last year, okay? Just like we had the DApp wars last year. And it's guaranteed it's going to happen. I mean, it's already started happening. I know that they've already started reaching out to Oracle and, you know, other YouTubers. And, you know, if you think it's going to be a good idea jumping into that, maybe pulling out, maybe you've made half an ETH, maybe you've made 5 ETH, maybe you've made 3 ETH, and you think, let me pull out of here and go into something early from the beginning. Now, let me tell you, that's a mistake, in my opinion. All right, this is my opinion, guys. You know, you may agree with it, you may not, you may like it, you may not. But my opinion is the wrong thing to do. Why? Because that's what I did last year. You know, I made some ETH last year from this. I pulled out. I went from one DApp to another DApp. I made some money, and then I lost a bit of money along the way. But I mean, I was up overall. But in hindsight, if I just stayed in this, my God, I'd be laughing right now. So, you know, you might think that they may look good. They might be a better prospect. There might be more dividend distribution for you, or whatever it might be that it might attract you to it. But the problem with that is that there's nothing solid behind it. There's no, you know, community. There's no past history of that smart contract. You don't know who it is. You know, there's so many unknown variables to going into something like that. You know, it's just problematic. It could last for a week. It could last for a day. It could last for a few weeks. And it happened again. It happened last year. Ask many guys in the space. They will tell you the same. And, you know, even more importantly, if you're in this and you want this for the long term, you want this to work for you, then everyone's got to stick together. Everyone's got to be in the community. Everybody's got to have the same belief. And this is how these kind of platforms work. You know, again, if you look at other examples such as proof of weak hands, now I was never in that, but you know, the results for that spoke for themselves for a lot of people. And we could see that and much more, guys, with this. All right. So anyway, that's enough of me ranting on about this. I know I'm doing this almost daily now, but I just feel like I need to, because one, it's, you know, obviously generated quite a lot of traction on my YouTube space, which I'm very grateful for, guys, by the way, for everybody who's liked my videos and everyone that's subscribed. Thank you so much. But also because I genuinely think, and remember, these are all my own thoughts, opinions and experiences, but I genuinely believe that this is such a long-term play. It's ridiculous. We're still at the early stages in it. So if you're hesitating, if you're thinking right now, let me just, should I do it? Should I not? I'm not sure. If you're going to do it now. Just jump in. Now, I'm not telling you to physically do it. Okay, it's up to you. It's completely down to you. And definitely make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you do your research into this. I don't want to, you know, try and persuade you to go into this. But if you're hesitating, and you're pretty sure you'll probably go into it tomorrow if you don't decide to do it today, just go into it today. All right, this thing is just on loop. It's awesome. I love it. A lot of people love it, and I'm sure there's going to be some haters, but hey, that's what happens. But yeah, I think that's me done. I don't think there's anything else I need to say here. I mean, as you can see, as we said, I'm approximately 3.1 Ethereum in profit. I could take that all out today if I wanted to, and book another holiday. But why? I'm not going to do that. I told you my plan. I told you what I'm doing and why I'm seeing this for the long term. So if you guys have got any questions about this smart contract, about this great passive income stream, please put them in the comments below. If I can't answer them, then I'm sure any of the other guys from the Gandiji community will be able to help as well. And and please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I really appreciate all the support, and I will catch you on the next one. Cheers.